Hello, it's Ben Pro again. What's up? Anyway, I just wanted to do another full video on the universal time scale. I don't know how much of you guys will actually see it because it's very, very quiet. I have Linux on my other computer, which normally it runs on Windows, so the recording sound program is off, so it records it really super quiet. But I do have a little bit more information from then. I've been working on an equation for it. But anyway, okay, let's start off with the basics. Time as we know it is perceived in different ways. And what affects our perception is gravity and speed, or velocity, through space in XY coordinate plane, okay, depending upon how we move. Okay, so I'm just going to put that down for the moment. I'll show you in a bit. But, so within this, I have an idea, one theory, and now if my equation is right, this theory is entirely wrong. Okay, it's just an idea I've had just from things I've observed. But basically, my theory is, okay, you have the membrane. I follow very much with the membrane theory, okay, where you have plane. That's what we know. Most people go with it. But the plane exists on its own. However, I do think that in a way that there are sort of time waves within this plane, within this flat surface. It's an idea I've had. I don't know whether there's really any other physicists that go with similar ideas, what findings they've had. But basically within this plane, there are sort of waves that coalesce along it. Now, what I'm meaning as wave is not necessarily that there is necessarily a wave. There could be a wave, but basically time doesn't always flow in the same scale. And it depends on where you're at in the universe, how it flows. Okay? So, let's take, for example, you're heading up on the wave. You're going up, you're going over the... Sorry, try and get used to it. Going over the crest, you're going up, 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 up. Okay, so that means time is flowing slower than normal. And when you head back down, seems like time is flowing faster. That's kind of a visual way of looking at it. It's just an idea I've had, something I've kind of observed. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's an idea I've had. Perhaps right, perhaps not. I don't really have any proof, but that's just an idea I've had. However, assuming that time is along the membrane that it's entirely flat, I think that if it is entirely flat, that would be a universal time scale. This could be proven with an experiment that's very simple that would have to be... Well, it's not exactly simple, but you'd have to figure it out. Is you put an item in space known comparative to a neutron mass, and I'll explain that later, and you put that into space, and you have it sit there with no velocity, no XY movement. It's just there. Now, for its velocity, for its gravitation, for its volume, its weight, it would entirely be moving as fast as you can, and you basically put a stopwatch in space. Have it be timed for X amount. Now, the biggest one that's been throwing me for a loop is, I'm going to get into this equation now, and I don't know how well it's going to work out, but we'll see. So, I figured that if there was going to be a sort of time scale, it would have to be within the boundaries of light. Light's fast as you can go, or perceived time, and if you're moving at the speed of light, that's as fast. That's your perceived time is nil. You have no perceived time. You are not moving. You're just still. You're there. But everything else around you is moving because you're going as fast as you can go. Okay? That's pretty well understood. But what about within gravity? Within the understanding of gravity and how that affects time itself. Because velocity doesn't just affect time. Your gravity, how much gravity pulls on you, that also affects time too. Within greater gravity, time slows down itself too. So, let's take, this is my odd equation, which this needs a lot of work. Okay, trust me, I know. Alright. This side of the equation over here, I think is right. This PTS, perceived time scale, I think that's correct in its understanding. And then PTP, I think that was time passed. Yep, that was time passed. So if you can figure out time passed, you can figure out after you figure out time perceived time scale, you can basically figure out what time something happened at comparative to our time, essentially. So that's kind of a way to go. And this entire equation is designed basically around dealing with time and how it perceives between body A and body B, and how you could always figure out what time it was there comparative to what time it is here. Now this part is what's throwing me for a loop, and I think I'm going to have to rework it because the variables aren't necessarily lining up right, which this is what I've been working on. So alright, now neutron mass is Nm, and then Km is known mass, and then Nm, which I'm going to have to figure out how to cross that one out, is neutron mass, and then Ls is light speed, of course. Figure I'd just use that as an easier way. That way I didn't have to look up all the symbols and make it right, which of course if I was going to write this out for any kind of proper presentation besides just YouTube, which really no one watches my YouTube account anyway, so who cares. And then light speed, and then known speed or known velocity. This is all. It was originally NV, but I needed V for volume, so I just was using different ones. So this, by the way, it's kind of light, so you can't hardly see this one, but this is LS, okay? And then over here, this is light speed, and now, damn, I should have prepared this beforehand. But basically, this was all cut off, and they had kind of a. So this was outside. Damn it. Okay, this was outside variable here. So all of this, once it was figured out, would be multiplied by this out here. Now, I don't think this is entirely right. I need to rework the equation. Problem is, I've been going over this and trying to figure out how known volume and known mass, or neutron mass, comparative to the speed. Now, first off, I need to figure out. I understand that I need to figure out known or neutron mass comparative to known mass and known volume, and figure that part of the equation out, which is boggling my head right now. Then I should be able to figure out where light speed, and your known speed is relayed in this entire equation variable, and it's throwing me out for a really big loop here. So, and hopefully YouTube doesn't cut me off again halfway through the video, because if it does, I will be very ticked off, because this was a lot of explaining and a lot of my thought process being prepared and whatnot. Having to do this again would tick me off, okay? So anyway, thank you very much. My weird thought on time, perceived time and whatnot, you know, I'm just working with it. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed watching, and this has been Probably. Peace out.